This is the journey to $1 million and things are getting very interesting. Before we dig into this week's video, do not forget to like and subscribe. I break down exact detailed ways I'm using to make money, how I'm investing, and bringing my net worth to $1 million every single week. Yes, that is correct. I don't skip a single week. Maybe I should, but I don't. Let's start with a recap. We ended at $262,000, and this week, slight spoiler, we added to this number in 3 main ways, each of which I'll be breaking down. So make sure to take notes because it's important to learn in life in general, but particularly learn how to make money. It's important. Trust me. The first and the biggest way I added to this number is through the stock market. My portfolio now is up to $266,000, a significant increase from last week. And no, I didn't have to do anything special to make this money. Here's exactly how I did it and how anybody literally with one brain cell like myself can do this. You have to invest in ETFs or exchange traded funds. For example, this ETF VFE has returned me thousands of dollars to the tune of 36%, and this ETF VDY has returned me 33%, also to the tune of thousands of dollars. We know ETFs can make us thousands of dollars, but what are they? They're essentially instruments that hold a basket of companies. For example, this ETF VFE tracks the S&P 500 or the 500 biggest companies in the United States of America. Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Google, even Meta. Everything is included in this ETF. So if you're buying this, you're buying a share, your own share in the US economy. It's returned over 100% for the last 5 years. I'm not claiming this is going to be the same return for the next 5 years, but if you look at the historical averages, you can expect to see 8 to 10% just for investing in this ETF. You literally do not have to think to invest in this. You can just buy. And there's a lot of ways you can buy this. Just search ETF investing plus the name of your country, and then you'll see everything available to you. For example, if you live in Australia, Canada, the US, Europe, most countries out there have a way for you to invest in ETFs. I blend this approach with 2 more things. The first one is individual company investing. I use a very simple criteria, buying undervalued companies. I'll give you an example. Google. Google was beaten down in April. Lots of lawsuits going on, lots of competition coming through ChatGPT and AI. And I noticed something. Google is extremely undervalued. The PE was below 20, which is ridiculous for the company Google is. They have verticals in all industries: social media, the cloud, AI, and even phones now. The growth rate, the revenue growth rate is extremely high, and the profitability is extremely high as well. As long as people have to buy things, Google is going to be profitable. And so I opened up a position in Google, which has now returned me, get this, over 100%. I did this similarly with Shopify, Snowflake, and a few other companies that I thought at that point were underpriced. The formula I like is 80% ETFs, 20% companies or crypto to add on to those juicy gains. Even if the stock market goes down a month, 2, or even 3, I am not really concerned. This happened recently in April, and I actually bought more because I kept on making dividends. Dividends are profit payments companies pay to shareholders as an incentive to keep on holding the stock. For example, my VDY shares pay me monthly dividend to the tune of 3.5 to 4%. VFE also pays a quarterly dividend, and a lot of individual companies like Google, like Microsoft also pay dividends. This portfolio nearly pays me $8,000 every single year in dividends, which is ridiculous because that is nearly $650 every single month. To put this into some context, this is enough to afford a very nice room in a developing country so I can relax and enjoy the views in case I get extremely burned out from capitalism. Slight sidetrack, the point is you can keep on investing in dividend paying assets because they'll give you an incentive not to sell and to keep on holding when we approach these buy me levels in the stock market. When the fear is high, that is the best time to be buying because the market is at a discount. The second thing that really helped me is investing in my online business, and I actually used this to withdraw over $130 and invest it in the stock market. I'm talking about Fiverr.com. Or freelancing in general. Freelancing can be daunting, but I'll break it down to you easy steps so you can get started yourself. The first thing is getting started. And how you do that is by making an account. Yes, go on Upwork, go on Fiverr, and literally sign up. It is as simple as that. You just need to give them your name and email. Trust me, it's that easy. The second thing is picking a niche. I recommend looking at this list of niches recommended by Upwork as solid beginner level freelancing professions. This is not me saying this is Upwork, probably the biggest freelancing platform out there. The third thing is having a good gig. Just copy whatever successful freelancers are doing in your niche. For example, if you like writing, see what successful writers are doing and take inspiration from that and make your gig extremely similar. Take out Canva or free video editing software and make a thumbnail. Make sure that you make it similar to these successful freelancers because those are the freelancers getting clicks and getting actual orders. The fourth thing and the most important thing is pricing low. When I started, I priced at $5. $5 is not enough to get even a coffee in downtown Toronto at most places where I live, which is kind of sad. But it's okay because I knew if I price low, I'll be able to get orders, get impressions, and then start jacking up the price, where now I'm able to charge $45, $50, even $60 per hour sometimes. This is important because when you start, you don't really have any social proof. You are a complete newbie, someone that's completely unknown in the market, and how you counter that is by giving people an incentive to buy from you by pricing low. Perhaps the biggest thing, the fifth thing, is staying consistent. The first few months when I started this, I really made no money. I made $50. But then, as I stayed consistent, my monthly earnings kept on growing because I got those reviews and that positive feedback. And now some months I'm able to break even $500, $600, $700. Once again, this is extremely inconsistent. It's going to be all over the place, but you'll give yourself a shot at succeeding if you stay consistent. Do not expect anything from this in the first 4 or 5 months. That is not going to happen. Just stay consistent and you'll not regret it. The third thing that helped me actually can be done from the comfort of your bedroom, laying down or sleeping. I'm not even kidding. I could be doing it just laying on this very comfortable chair. I might fall asleep, so I'm gonna come back up. And I've used this thing to buy groceries for the last few weeks because that is how much it pays. Hundreds of dollars for hours of work. And that thing is user research. User research is a very simple process. Companies need feedback on their products and their services, and they reach out to you to give that feedback. For example, if you are into crypto, into banking, there's banks out there and crypto companies out there that need your feedback on how to make their platforms better. And for doing this, they give you a fat bonus. And there's websites out there that specifically arrange these kinds of meetings. They're called user research platforms. My favorite ones are user testing, user interviews, and Prolific. All three of them have some pros and some cons that I want to cover. User interviews has been making me the most money so far, and the servers here pay the most. I've even made $250, which is more than 300 Maple dollars, for one study lasting me 80 minutes. Others have paid me $50, $60, all the way up to $150. So the pros are you can make a lot of money, but the cons are you will have to meet with an actual researcher to give them your opinion. So if you're a shy kind of person and you don't like meeting researchers and giving your opinions, this might not be for you. Once again, they're not looking to test you or interview you. They're just going to walk you through a demo and ask you to vocalize what you like about it and what you don't like. So if you don't want to do that, this is not going to be the one for you. The second website is user testing, and the pros for this is you can easily sign up and do surveys at your own time. For example, when you provide all your information to them, they'll give you access to these $10 surveys. They're unmoderated, meaning you can do them at your own time at your own comfort. No person involved and no scheduling Zoom calls. Keep in mind, you can also sign up for these $30, $60, and $90 surveys, which are similar to user interviews, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Each one of these surveys takes around 10 to 15 minutes to complete, and after that you get paid a nice $10 in your PayPal account. The cons for user testing are you're not going to qualify for a lot of these surveys. A lot of times you'll start filling out information and start filling out the pre-screener as they call it, and you'll realize you're not the target audience for the survey and you'll get disqualified. I've noticed in my experience, out of every 5 or 6 surveys, you do qualify for at least one. Perhaps the easiest one is prolific.com. These surveys are much simpler and much quicker, some of them even lasting a couple of minutes. The biggest con though is that these also pay the least. Some of these surveys pay you $1, $2, and sometimes even 50 or 60 cents, which is not a lot of money. However, if you stay consistent, if you do these every single day, this money can compound and become hundreds of pounds over the course of a year. The strategy for me is clear. Do all 3 of these, and then take this money and invest it in the stock market and watch it grow. Those are the 3 things that actually work. What are some of the failures? Because I think failures are important to cover in a world where everyone seems very successful. Is it just me, or does everybody seem like they don't fail at all and look perfect all the time and have all of these business successes? Well, that is unfortunately not me. I fail at a lot of things, but the one thing I've been consistently failing at is other forms of social media. I have a decent YouTube channel, I have a decent audience, you guys, and I love everybody that watches, sincerely. But I've been trying to expand this message to other social media like TikTok, like Twitter, like Pinterest, like Reddit, like Discord, and I fail at pretty much every single one of these. I don't know why. I've just been posting consistently. Maybe I've not been consistent enough. Maybe I just don't understand the platforms, but the sad reality, or the reality is, I don't know how to improve to a point where I see traction on those platforms, because I noticed that the sort of content popular on those platforms is not this sort of content. It's more entertainment. It's more rage baiting, I guess. which I can also do. I am a rage baiter sometimes, but that is neither here nor there. I have been failing consistently at that. I have 0 followers on TikTok. I have 0 followers on Pinterest. I have 0 followers on Twitter. I do have 56 followers on Reddit, which I guess is something. That is a lot of talking. What is the final number? The final number is complicated this week because I decided to add my business equity into this as well. As some of you might know, I have a business that I've set up and invested equity into it. I didn't include this in previous videos because it's not really liquid, but in terms of net worth, this totally should be included by any definition since equity is a part of total net worth. Let me know if you agree with this. If you don't, I can remove it. I don't really care. It's not that much money. But for this week, I am including it. So the final number has 2 parts. The first part is my portfolio. This is at now $266,000. Absolutely incredible. And my business equity, which is at $5,500. If you add those two up, we're now sitting at $271,600. We are galloping to that $300,000 milestone. And next week, we'll hopefully be trying out some new things to add to this milestone. As always, like and subscribe if you learned something, if you want to follow along. Every single person that joins the journey makes me feel incredible because I really like teaching how to make money to people just in case that one person might get motivated to start their journey themselves. I'll see you next week.